Let's do it.
Hey guys, I am here with one of my favorite people, Josephina Bashout. Hey Josie,
Hi.
thanks for joining us today. I'm super excited to do this. We did a fun IG Live a while ago and that was awesome. And I was like, I want to do another thing with you. So I'm happy we're on now, going to talk about some really cool stuff. For people that don't know, Josie, I'm just looking at my notes here, but she is an empowerment coach and she's also a Tantra and sacred sexuality educator. My handwriting is kind of bad. Sorry, guys. But Josie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself too and how you doing?
I'm doing good. I am an expert in feminine empowerment and feminine energy, so that is actually accurate. Yeah, and I'm doing really good. Yeah, it's been an interesting time with quarantine, but it's been a really beautiful time within this interesting navigating point of life right now, the uncertainty and the unknown. So I'm glad to be here and have this conversation with you and to get into this juicy topic of all the things we're going to discuss.
Yeah, it's a secret. She's not going to tell you guys until I get into it for you.
Yep.
But one of the things I actually do love about talking to you, it's like, even now, like my day was flying and I just got off a call and you were patient to like wait for me. But like, you're a good example of somebody that's like calm and like with all the crazy stuff that's happening with the quarantine and the COVID and like everybody's losing their mind, mostly, not everybody, but a lot of people are. It's like, it's good to like recenter, right? And it's always nice to have somebody, friends and people around you, right, that have that ability, right? For me, because I'm going like so fast right now. And like now, like you're helping me like relax a little bit, right? Because I'm like,
yeah,
like 8th year right now.
I like to say help people get into their body, right? So we're operating here. So it's like getting to check in. We get to be present together and then like it just drops you into your body.
Yeah, it does. Well, why don't we start with that then? Because we were talking about some of I remember a few times we've done some fun exercises about getting into our body and you call them embodiment exercises, right?
Embodiment practices. Yes. They're called embodiment practices.
Can you tell us about that a little bit and what that's about?
Yes. An embodiment practice is similar to meditation, except it's involved with movement. So it focuses on moving your body in order to feel and experience the different emotions that you're going through, the different feelings, the different sensations, and also to help clear, move the energy, move the stagnation, change your state by embodying what you're feeling so it can actually leave your physical body, and your physiology can actually change. And you can also use it to call forward or to step into other qualities or other feelings or sensations. So if you're not feeling so good and you want to feel better, an embodiment practice like dance or going and spinning in circles, right? If you're like spinning in circles can actually help clear your mind and then get you to recenter and focus in your bodies. Because if you're not focused in your body, you can just fall over. So the circle exercise also really helps. So there are a bunch of different movement practices to get into the feeling and the movement of what's actually happening in your body to bring you from up here and creates a mind-body continuum to actually drop you farther down and root you into your body and into the moment.
What's the circle exercise? Is that like sitting like this and circling? Yeah.
So you can sit and do circles. There's a combination of sitting and you can do circles and then you're breathing, because then you can feel yourself rooted. I like to think of like a tail that I'm like putting in, and then I just start to move myself into these circles and take these deep breaths, and then everything just starts to dissolve and I feel myself really grounded. Yeah. How does that feel?
It does feel really good. And I feel it all the way down to like the base of my lumbar, right? My spine.
Exactly. So right where so that's right where your sacrum is. That's literally your root. So that's you anchoring yourself down into the present moment and getting you back in, versus, a mile a minute in your head, creating things or talking to people or running a company. You can live a lot up here and be moving so quickly that you can become scattered or exhausted or tired, or just not as connected and in a relationship to your body that you're going through in the moment. And you just kind of go through the motions.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's like a good like place to start to get into it, right? And like, and
that's a good.
You can do like I should start doing that like every hour when I'm working, right? If you're sitting down, like just pause.
Yep.
I like to pause,
Yeah.
right? But like that's a great thing to pause for.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's proven that it's like to be productive, it's like every 50 minutes or so, you're supposed to stop,
Yeah,
right? And then like move your body and stretch and then get back into it. And that way you're actually more productive and focused versus just hammering through, that work day. So taking those pauses and rest is really loving yourself and loving your body and taking care of yourself.
I love that. Is there what else? What else can people do about this? Well, first of all, I forgot to say too. I love one of the things I teach and coach clients a lot is emotions created by motion, right? So
Mm,
like when you're in your head, you're dead, right? The mind's a good tool, but a lot of times it like takes
love
over.
that saying. Yeah.
And you said something similar before, right? Which reminded me of that.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So what are some other things we can do to get back in our bodies?
So I love that in your head, you're dead. I use that also with my intimacy clients because, like, thinking about the bedroom, it's
Yeah,
like if you are in the bedroom or in an intimacy place and you're in your head, then your body is dead and you can't actually like have that intimate connection with your partner. But the
yeah,
same thing is true for the moment. So what I say is emotions are energy in motion.
yeah,
So when you're having an emotion, it's just energy needing to move through you versus trying to hold on to it or sit with it,
yeah. That's so
right?
good. Yeah,
Yeah. So instead of trying to like hold on to this emotion and contract your body and like, oh, like I'm grumpy and like, oh, I'm in a bad mood. Oh, I'm so tired. Like, God, I gotta do all these emails. Like all of that, you're holding on to that energy where that energy just wants to burst and move. So if you take a moment to let that energy get into motion, and that's like put on one song and just let your body do whatever it wants to do naturally, the actual emotion can just move through you and it can take you into a higher state, into a more clear or high vibrational state than just being here. You're like, oh, I can breathe again. I'm actually open again and I can experience more creativity in myself in this moment. So that's another thing you can do.
I love that. That's so cool. Um, I want to ask you about the bedroom stuff, but
Yeah.
in a little bit, if we get there, I'm going to let
We
people,
gotta build up. You gotta build up. You can't just jump into that.
yeah, we got to do some more circle exercises.
Some more circles. Yeah, some more
Um,
circles.
there was something else I want to ask you. Oh yeah. So by the way, I didn't say this in the beginning. This is all relevant stuff, especially now with the quarantine, right? People are at home, and for you that are listening, guys, like, especially now, like we're in our confined spaces most of the day, and like
Yeah,
a partner or not, if we're alone, whatever it is, like now is the best time to use these things, right? So, because most of us, our emotions are like stacking and stacking, and most people are holding on to them, right? Versus like letting them
right.
flow through. So this is really relevant stuff you could use like starting now, even after the
Right now.
quarantine, right? Like it's always gonna be useful, but
Yeah.
especially useful right now.
Yeah, and it helps us stay healthy during the times right now because when we hold on to negative emotion, it has a lower vibratory frequency, right? Which we're talking about
Yeah,
frequencies and energy is similar. It's measurable. And when you hold on to energies or emotions that are in a lower density, it actually lowers your immune system. So you're more prone to catching something and getting sick and dropping into depression or lethargy
yeah,
versus moving the energy. And when you move the energy and you allow yourself to be more fluid and malleable and in motion, then you stay healthier and you become more adaptable to what's happening and you become healthier. You get an immune system boost. So
yeah.
it's very important right now during the time of what we're going through and, and beyond, because we don't know what will take shape from this point. It really is the unknown.
Yeah, that's so true. That's awesome. So let's shift gears. Um, and this is gonna be a good segue to the bedroom thing. And we weren't gonna talk about the bedroom too much, but you brought it
We
up.
weren't, but I brought it up because it was so relevant
Yeah,
to what you said.
and it is useful. We're in quarantine, some people with their partners and they want to like, they're probably having challenges with that. But the last time
Even if you don't have a partner, you may be having a challenge with that, but that's something I can talk about when we get into
but
it.
then we were also talking about before, I like talking to you about relationship a lot, right? And you also told me about a really cool book to read that I read, which is awesome. It was called Conscious Sexuality.
Conscious Loving.
Conscious Loving. Yeah, by Gay
Conscious
Hendricks.
Loving by Gay Hendricks. Yeah, the same author of The Big Leap.
Cool. The Big Leap is another relationship book?
No, The Big Leap is actually about upper limiting beliefs that stop you from stepping into your greatness.
Oh, cool. I'm going to check that out. I never heard of that. Big Leap.
Yeah, The Big Leap. It's
Cool.
about shifting and making a jump into your greatness and dissolving upper limiting beliefs that stop you from receiving more love, more abundance, more connection, like you yourself.
Wow, that's great. Cool. And then I know you have a course coming out. It's called Self-Love Mastery, right? In June,
Yeah.
It's June 1st.
It starts June 1st.
Is it going to cover, it's going to cover things about like relationship and sexuality as well? Or is it going to cover more like embodiment or all that stuff?
So it's a great course that's going to cover, we do some embodiment, we do morning rituals, practices. Oh, you got the call.
Apple, it's still linked to my computer. I got to figure out how to like unlink my phone to the computer, but go ahead.
I know, it's so funny. It goes everywhere. So it's going to be about creating a morning ritual, morning practice, setting up a routine, and then designing your life around an open-hearted way of living. So it's going to go into forgiveness. It's going to do embodiment work. I touch on pleasure, belief systems around pleasure. I touch on sensuality and sexuality, but the beginning portion of that is to get us back into our heart, to become more heart-centered so we can really be open to then diving deeper into the sexuality or sensuality realm. But it's really focused around becoming a master of your belief systems, negative or positive self-talk, how you design and shape your life based on what you believe about yourself and possibilities, and how to actually open to love again. Loving yourself, but loving like from the outside in, receiving love.
Yeah, that's so cool. And the truth is, you're starting with the core. Most people want to skip to like the sexy stuff, right? The sex, right? But like the core of it, right? You can't get to that other stuff unless you can nail this down.
Yes.
And that stuff comes more naturally and easily anyway, right? It just flows from that point.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So it's June 1st to what? How long is it? It's a 6-week course, you said?
It's an 8-week course. Yeah. So it'll go into July. Yeah, it'll go into July.
Cool. That's amazing. So with the relationship stuff, what would you say, well, I don't even know where to start with that, honestly. You're the expert on this, right? So what would you say for people that are home right now, right, in quarantine? And again, it might not even be with their partner, right? It could be by themselves. What would you say is like maybe 1 or 2 starting tips that are like fundamental that maybe people miss or don't realize or just something they can do to improve this area?
One of the things that comes to me as we're speaking in this moment is authenticity, like being really authentic and real with what you actually need, right? So one of the conversations I got into with a client this week was around having sexual desire, or maybe you don't have a desire, but in this case, it's having a sexual desire and not negating it or shaming it or hiding it in any way, whether it's from your partner or with yourself, but instead continuing to fan the flame of your passion and of your desire, and putting that as a priority for health and well-being. So that's something that's also really important, is to not hide it or keep it in the closet or act like it's something that, you know, you shouldn't be wanting or exploring at this time.
I like that. Cool. So communicating clearly.
Communicating clearly, but also with yourself, being really honest about what you may need. And the reason why I was saying about I love that quote of like, when you're in your head, you're dead, is because if you're thinking about it, or you're maybe just viewing things and you're kind of in your head in a fantasy place, where in quarantine, a lot of people may be escaping into fantasy worlds or VR or, you know, digital content or pornography. There's an opportunity to actually get back into your body and your experience and have an honest conversation with your partner, if you're in a partnership, around what you would like to explore or what is coming up for you, because this can be a really beautiful catalyst to creating a deeper level of intimacy and of freedom between the two of you in this way of exploring. And same thing with yourself. You can explore what it is that is your turn on, what it is that you really like or you enjoy, and develop a practice of being able to really take care of and nurture and really nourish your own turn on, your
Yeah.
own pleasure.
Yeah. I like that. What's the thing somebody could do if they're like about to go into their VR world or watch porn or like just something that they don't want to keep doing, but they keep doing it? Is there like an embodiment exercise or
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
thought
Yeah.
or like something that they can do to catch themselves and switch it?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, and switch it. Well, deciding awareness, number one, right? Like being
Yeah.
aware. It's like step one is being aware that you're having that tendency to reach. So instead of reaching for it, come, be aware and come back. One of the breath work practices that I do and that I teach is it's a Kundalini breath work practice, and it's giving yourself an like my body's already like moving. It's giving yourself an opportunity to actually breathe into your genitals. So my advice is get to know your body again and actually make it a practice,
Yeah.
just like meditation or movement or the gym, where you're getting to show up for your pleasure and creating the time and space. And that's what I would do, is come back to you, and then you can do a breath work. Like if you're going to reach for it, what we're reaching for is sensations. What we're reaching for is like that dopamine, that serotonin, or some sort of sensory activation, pleasure to get us to be filled. All of that exists inside of us,
Yep.
right? So if we tap into that through a breath, where what you can do is, if you take a breath in from your root, like you felt your root when you were doing this, right? You felt your sacrum when you went this, so you could feel that point on the bottom. So as you're doing this, right? So from here, now instead of circling, you're gonna rock back and forth. So
Mm.
think about like if you're making love and you're
Yeah.
kind of rocking back and forth, and then you want to start to take deep breaths. So you go
Mm.
and let yourself, yeah, there you go, keep going. See, notice how your mood is shifting, and you're like, oh, I'm feeling something starting to build.
Yeah.
Like your face is smiling, right? There's a little bit heat building.
Yeah.
There's that pleasure. And oftentimes, I'm going to just say this here, oftentimes when we start to feel really good and have that pleasure, there can be oh no, like this shouldn't feel good, or
Yeah.
oh, like am I allowed, is this okay, am I allowed to like do this, shouldn't it be from somewhere else? And that's what's available during this time when you're in your own cocoon. You get to actually, yes, you have permission to feel good. Yes, you have permission
Yeah.
to feel good in your body and be your own initiator of that pleasure.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. You know what's funny?
I loved seeing that shift in your face.
I couldn't get too excited on camera here. You know, I got to be professional. No, I'm joking.
I mean, I'm professional.
You are professional. I was going to say something in line with what you were saying, but I forgot. I was saying.
I was talking about pleasure. I'll help. I was talking about pleasure. I was talking about feeling good in your body, not feeling like there's outside sources, or shutting down the way that you're feeling within your body when you're at home on your own. Does that spark anything?
Yeah, it was. No, I can't remember. But because you broke my pattern with that thing, which was a good thing. That was good. But what about so I know we don't need to get into like the bedroom stuff, but just because we kind of said we would maybe, but like, so what's maybe a thing about, again, with a partner, right? Or maybe not, right? But what's to get out of your head, where we're talking about embodiment, right? For people, but in the bedroom, right? What's something people could do to get out of their head and just be more present with their partner, even with themselves?
Mm-hmm.
You might have covered that already,
So
you said, but.
I touched on that a bit, but I would say focusing on coming back into your body.
Yeah.
So things that can help you get back into your body in the bedroom would be, don't underestimate the power of setting the mood.
Yeah.
So that's and I have goosebumps. It's like setting the mood, setting the stage. So instead of it being this like kind of act and go, it's like, how can you bring in more sensuality into your bedroom, whether it's by yourself or someone? So maybe that's using some essential oils, or incorporating certain sounds that just invite you more into your body. Like I know like R&B music I really enjoy. I'm like, oh, that music, speaks to me.
Yeah.
So getting you out of your head means bringing you back into your body, which is using your five senses. So if
Yeah.
you're a couple, it's like set up a fun exploratory date night, like a sensual sexual date night, and have that be where you guys choose to put your phones aside or put things aside, and you guys just choose to explore, put music on, maybe you put candles on, maybe there's essential oils or certain things, and just set the stage for a place where there's no expectations, no judgment, but we just want to play and see like what comes up. And I think that again comes back to authentic communication of saying, hey, I would like to explore something. Would you be open to that? And coming from a real place of curiosity. Because during a time like this, when people can be triggered or certain places, we may be trepidatious to ask for what we want when it comes to a very intimate place.
Yeah.
And so when we come from a place of curiosity, not from a place of like demand or even self-doubt of, oh my gosh, am I going to be rejected because I want to explore this, but more of, hey, I'm curious, would you be down to like try this with me or explore this with me?
Yeah. And that sounds so basic, but it's so true, right? If you just communicate clearly, like what it is your intentions are, what you want, or ask, right? Sometimes I used to be always scared of doing that, right? But it's easier than you think, and it works, right? It's either that's cool, let's try this, and that's awesome, or it's no, right?
Mm-hmm. And he talks about that in the book that we mentioned earlier, Conscious Loving. It's
Yeah.
about those co-commitments, right?
Yeah.
And the co-commitments, for those who haven't read the book, there's one of them, which is, I am committed to 100% responsibility of myself and my needs.
Yeah.
And so that's a part of being committed to yourself, and then being responsible to that commitment to yourself by doing maybe the uncomfortable thing by asking for what you want, but knowing it's in service to your commitment to your authentic self and truth.
Yep. Yep. Cool.
And that's across the board: bedroom, clients, friendships.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be that's what's really amazing. Even though we were talking about some of the bedroom, I truly believe, is a microcosm for the macrocosm of the way that you're being in life. And it brings up the nuances of where we maybe are doing things a certain way and aren't shining a light on them. And that could be bleeding into, majority of times it is bleeding into a lot of other areas of our life.
Yep. So true. So if people are interested in your self-love mastery course, that's what it's called. Yeah.
It's called Self-Love Mastery. Yeah.
What's like a taste of what they can expect if they want to join you for this awesome journey? And I would definitely do it if you're interested in this stuff, because Josie's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you're getting a taste of it right now. It's a combination of self-practice at home, and then we do live video calls. And it's going to be a really beautiful journey of 8 weeks, with me guiding us in ways to understand and break your beliefs, but also really embody what we're speaking about right here. Practicing being present, practicing owning your story, rewriting your story. Who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? How do you want to show up? And then really having a support group around you, all celebrating you stepping into your role as a master of your mind, a master of your energy, and the seat of creator. So a taste of that is going to be learning how to let go of old stories of other people or your partner, let go of your old beliefs, and just like drop those baggages off and throw them all out, get rid of it. And then being able to lean into love again, lean into your heart, lean into your relationship, lean into your mission, your purpose,
Yeah.
and really be able to then from that point, because you're free now, you've got like no weights on you. It's like, okay, how can I own then this journey that has taken me here and now rewrite this story? I say, you get to really direct the play, which is your life's movie, this life play you're in. So you get to really be in the seat and gain tools on how to consciously co-create your life from a heart-centered place
Yeah.
and have it be really joyful, easy, grounded, practical, and yet with sprinkled in elements of spirituality, because I bring in my spiritual psychology background and principles. So everything is very grounded, it's very practical, but it's got my very unique Josephina flair and sauce on it. So there's playfulness, there's some sauciness in there,
Yeah.
and it's a great way to also really see where the blind spots that you may be holding on to, where you're not loving yourself, where you're not choosing yourself first.
Right. Right.
And then how to embody that power, how
Yep.
to then choose yourself, but now, okay, actually take action. You learned this, you understood it, you rewrote it. Now here's action steps for you to really practically apply this into your life. And now don't just talk about it, but be it.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a group that's supporting you, where they're all on the same journey as you, stepping into you really becoming that person that you desire to be, that ideal self.
Yeah. And they're going to be doing like exercises and like shifting habits and shifting beliefs.
Yes, exercises, shifting habits, beliefs. You get, exercises in a workbook. So each week you get emailed modules, and then every other week we jump on a live Zoom call. So we're going to be doing meditations on the call. You're going to be getting guided meditations that you do at home. You're going to be getting guided video practices to do at home. We're going to be having live group coaching sessions on the calls as well. So it's going to be very action step oriented around rewiring and refiring new pathways.
I like that. Rewire and refire. Boom.
Yes. Dr. Joe Dispenza.
And it's men and women, right?
It's men and women. Yeah, this is the first time that I'm doing an open for all genders, all sexes. It's a men and women self-love mastery course, because everyone could use this, and it's not gender specific.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. How can people find you and contact you and learn more about the course and just whatever else you're doing?
You can find me directly, my name's on here, Josephina Bashout. So you can go to my website and my course will be listed there. It's also all over my social media. So if you find me on Facebook or Instagram, it's Josephina Bashout with an F, by the way, not a PH, if people are listening and not noticing. So it's posted all over, all over there. And I would love to have anyone who feels called and inspired to step into a deeper level of mastery when it comes to self-love.
Amazing. Cool. Thank you, Josie, so much for your time and joining us today.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Amazing.